Welcome to the Round 270 Hoops podcast with a bonus episode. I am here with Teays Valley senior Brody Fields. Brody is the first junior in school history to hit 1,000 points. He's a two-time first-team All MSL selection, first-time OCC. He's also won three-time Offensive Player of the Year and top 10 in the state in free throw percentage. He also has the most free 3-point baskets in school history. So kind of a Teays Valley legend. Brody, appreciate you being on the pod. What's up?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me.
All right, so let's just get right into it again. So if you're watching live on the podcast, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also you can listen to this afterwards on Spotify or Apple Music. Please subscribe anywhere that you can get your podcast, and also make sure you follow our social media at 270 Hoops on anywhere you get your social media. So, real quick, you're a guy that I've watched for a few years, and you just seem to love the game. Like, you seem like you're always having fun. You love the spotlight, and you've obviously had a lot of success in high school. What has the biggest thing that's contributed to all that success?
That's a good question. I would say mostly like just keeping your head down. Like there's gonna be a lot of ups and downs. You know, injuries, stuff like that. So I'd just say like being in the gym a lot, and you gotta sometimes even myself, I don't feel like getting in the gym sometimes. So those are the days you gotta get in the gym and also working out. Freshman year, I didn't take the weight room as serious as I wanted to, and I should have. So I'd say getting in the weight room is huge too for success. I mean, when you get to that higher level, and especially the OCC, the league we play in, being strong and being in that weight room is important just because, I mean, if you're a younger guard, trying to get varsity minutes, you got to be able to withstand them varsity guards, and you're playing against seniors.
So have you played varsity since you were a freshman?
Yeah, yep. I ended up
Okay.
varsity as a freshman, so I was fortunate enough to get that experience as a
Mhm.
freshman. That helped me out a lot.
So, like I said, you just seem like you're always having a great time, and I love that. Like, I love people that have fun playing hoops because I know it's a grind a lot, and a lot of people take it so seriously, and they just kind of lose the joy. So, I've always loved that about you. Where did that joy come from, and how do you keep it going, even through like some like rough seasons?
I'll just say, man, like God, bless me. I mean, my parents are my dad's like 5'8" or 5'8". Mom's like 5'7". So I feel like it was a blessing to be as tall as I am. I'm around like 6'3". So I think God, blessed me to be this height. So I don't. I'm just glad to be able to play the game of basketball. I mean, I've loved it since I was younger. I was able to watch my older brother play basketball. I was in the gym with him around like 3 or 4, and then like I'll just be shooting all the time, and I'll keep on going back and forth asking my dad like how many shots I make, how many shots I make. So I just love the game from like a young age, and I appreciate the game and what's come with it.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen a lot of all your workout videos. Like you, that's another cool thing too. Is you love the spotlight. So getting you to do this podcast was not very hard, and I love that. So you almost like seem like a performer, which I love watching your game. It's just a blast to watch. So you're a commit to Shawnee State, which is an NAI school, full ride. So can you just go over a little bit the recruitment process and how did you end up deciding on Shawnee State as your destination for college?
So I ended up my first offer was Point Park University. It's in downtown Pittsburgh. And then after that, I started to get different D2s like Concord, Pitt, Johnstown. Some of them ones you hear about, especially Concord, is West Virginia. I ended up getting high in Dominican too. But and then so Shawnee State's actually moved up to Division II level. I didn't know if you heard about
Oh, I did not. I didn't realize that. Okay.
that kind of like I said the Division II offer. So once I heard they're going up there, they're going to be in the Mountain East with like Westlake, Fairmont State, schools like that, some of the notable ones. So that kind of I wanted to be like kind of cool to be the first potential first signee of that being in the Division II level in 2026. So that was kind of cool. And I mean, they just showed a lot of love from the start. I mean, Coach Bryce, what really sold it was we one morning went to Bob Evans, and then we ended up going to church after, and like God's very important to me. So when he did that, it was like, man, like he really cares. It's not just about basketball. So they ended up showing me that, and on the official visit, I mean, it was from the jump, it was awesome. I mean, my mom liked it, my dad liked it, which is very important to make my decision. And I just like the vibes, and it's not too far away from home; it's about an hour away. And he said it's like a kind of small town vibe we got kind of here at Teays Valley. Like, you'll be the little kids come to you, so it's kind of like similar to here already. So I thought it'd be a good potential fit.
I love that you talk about your faith in Christ as a motivator as well. Obviously, 270 Hoops were a big faith-based basketball organization trying to use the game to further Christ's vision in people's lives. How do you use your game to further the kingdom of Christ?
Before games, we have a prayer. We get in a circle, and I usually lead the prayer, and I just talk about like glorifying God, like through the wins or losses. I mean, he gives us. I was hurt, missed a lot of AAU, ended up tearing ligament in my wrist, and the max was about 6 months. Ended up coming back in 3. And I think that was the crazy part. Actually, back up a little bit. So I hurt my wrist. It was actually during my junior season. Ended up playing at the Battle of the 614 at High Dominican. We ended up playing walk-ins, ended up going for a layup, and then they got kind of like uppercutted a little bit. And I thought that was a bone bruise, but it was actually dislocating when I was shooting it. I didn't realize that. I mean, I heard like a little crack, but I didn't think it was anything major. That was something that was kind of frustrating. And I prayed. I was like, please, like, no surgery. And I ended up having to get surgery, but there's about 15% of people in the entire world have an extra ligament. I had the extra ligament, and I didn't think that was accidental. I think that was God, like, my plan was a little different. I was like hoping no surgery, but he had a different plan in store for me. And so I went through the rehab, and got back in 3 months, ended up playing with Midwest, shout out Midwest and the made hoops, and I was able to play, and I did pretty well coming off an injury, I feel like. And I think that was God. And so I just talk about like glorifying him through the thick and thin. Like there's just things that go your way, but I think he's got a plan. And I think if people can stick with that plan, even when things don't go your way, it's very important.
That's a really cool story. I didn't realize that. That's powerful. And yeah, we did appreciate you having you on our team. That was some stiff comp.
Yeah.
Obviously, we needed you there. So going back to kind of your high school, so a year ago you only won 2 games. You said that you had some injury things going on, and you ended up losing. I think like how many games in a row? 16.
There's 50. Yeah, I think 15.
15 or 16 in a row. Like that's got to be super disheartening. Like, and I know people who are listening to this, like some of you have gone through seasons like that. And how did you keep your love for the game going and just kind of like never giving up, even in like the darkest of moments in a season that is, that has that many trials?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we the coaches, we talked, and we was said like, Coach Barnett, my head coach, had a little piece of paper, and it was like 2 and 20, 2 and 21, whatever it was, never again. And that was like our motto the entire off season. But like during that season, it was tough. I mean, there's times where I was like, man, like, I wasn't losing my love for the game, but it was hard to get motivated. So I had to find different ways to motivate myself. But it was, it would have been easy, but like, yeah, I'm gonna find a different situation. But I've been here since freshman year, and we took it really serious in the weight room this season. So that was definitely tough. But I'll just say like when I was hurt, like I wasn't able to play to my fullest potential, and so what I was like, you appreciate the game a lot more when it's taken away from you. So even though we were losing a lot of games, I still had to come out there to be positive too. I was one of the leaders on the team, so me having a bad attitude is going to also reflect on some of the other guys on our team. So I think that was very important to me, come with the energy and still be positive.
Yeah, that's definitely a really mature way of thinking, like that leadership aspect. Like I could despair, but I'm influencing the other guys. Like that's definitely a team first mentality, and that's the sign of a winning culture. Despite your record last year. Just kind of moving on from that too. So your team is 2-0 this year, so you've already won as many games as you did a year ago, which is a great start. You have a win over Watkins Memorial and then a 1-point win over Lancaster. So you're most likely, and I would just about bet my mortgage on that you'll have a better season this year than a year ago. So what, other than kind of what you talked about, is there anything else that's kind of gone into this early turnaround?
I would say like, we know we're not going to always out talent the team. So we always got to bring the energy. Like we're trying to out energy teams. And this is the most conditioning we've done since my freshman year. Like we've taken it way more serious. Guys were showing up more. Like we just talked about being 90% guys in the weight room and conditioning. I think we did a really good job of showing up and just working hard. We didn't want that season last year. And there's times where he'd tell us like when we felt lazy, he'd just tell us 2 and 20 a week. We didn't want that to happen again. And obviously it was tough mentally. So basically, just being in the gym, working hard and basically showing most of the guys, the collective group that are playing well right now. Those are the guys that showed up.
Yeah, I love it. And it's clearly, paying off early. So let's just transition real quick back to your recruitment. So a lot of our listeners are high school basketball players that want to play college hoops. And there's just a very small percentage that have the ability. Obviously there's some luck involved or blessing involved, obviously, with like height and stuff like that. So, you have a floor ride to D2 Shawnee State, phenomenal program and a really good conference. Talk about your recruitment process and then kind of any advice that you might have for young hoopers, what it takes in order to get in kind of the place that you're at.
So mine was a little different. So I ended up playing on Ohio Select my sophomore year. Junior year, I ended up playing on the 3SSB circuit. So I was playing against really good competition. Playing in front of coaches like Tom Izzo. That was really cool. Coach Painter from Purdue. Really big coaches. And then Stetson was recruiting me. And it was, we're talking, I want to visit there. And then I was also talking, I went to unofficial to Morehead State and Kent State. So obviously the goal was to always go the highest, and that was D1. But then when I had my injury, kind of set me back a little bit, 17 AU. So basically, like, not everything's going to go your way, like way you planned it out. But like I talked about earlier, like God's got a plan for you. So I ended up getting my first offer from Point Park while I was hurt. They ended up offering me off film. And they trusted me, and then I ended up getting went to Concord, went to the elite camp, got an offer from there, and I went to Shawnee State, was also elite camp. I got off from there. So just putting yourself out there, like, some kids are like, oh, I got no shot, going to these elite camps getting offered. I mean, you really do. I mean, some of them other, like the higher Division I, some of the MAC school level camps potentially are a money grab, but I will say that speaking from experience of going to Division II elite camps, there aren't as many kids there. You'll be seeing more. I'll just basically go to as many showcases as you can in the camps, and don't be discouraged if you don't get offered right away. Like I say, God's got time. Run your own race, and then basically just put in the work. I mean, the work's always going to show. I mean, if you really be better than a guy, or you see a guy's got an offer over you, you put in the work over them, and you're not going to always know their work schedule, but if you know you're putting in the work and you go out there confident, things are going to come.
I think that's interesting. You mentioned too that it's like everyone kind of runs their own path. Like it's just the comparison, like comparing is the enemy of great, right?
Oh,
so if you're just running your own path and doing what you can to reach your highest potential, like that keeps you motivated.
right.
And it doesn't get you bogged down because obviously social media runs kind of everything now, and every offer someone gets, it's online pretty much, and so you can see that, and it's a lot of buzz, and you see all, oh, congrats, whatever. And I can see that being like a thing that hinders you. But yeah, like you said, God's got you. Like you run your own race. And no two basketball players are the same, just like no two people are the same. So like kind of treat yourself as a unique situation. And a lot of times too, the practical side of it, just from talking to college coaches, is it's a lot about kind of what kind of player you are and how you fit what they do, right? So just because you don't get offered by, Ohio State, it doesn't mean that you're not good enough to play at Ohio State,
Right.
for the very small percentage. Maybe they just don't need that position, right? So or whatever. So, or they, some team run pack line, some teams, run and gun, and sometimes like you're a better fit for run and gun or whatever. So, all that to say, like, just run your own race. So I'm kind of going off what you said. I love that advice. So real quick, you play tomorrow. You play Hilliard Derby. It's like 2 minutes from my house,
Sweet.
actually. Preview your game against Derby. Obviously, you don't need to give away a ton of the scouting report or whatever, just in case people are watching or whatever. But talk about Derby, like the respect you have for them, and then kind of what you need to do in order to win the game.
So they ended up beating us last year, so I mean the respect's already there. I don't really come in disrespecting, any team, any given night. One team can beat another team, it's not supposed to beat them. And obviously we didn't have the great season last year, so we're always coming in every game like locked in. If it's either a smaller school or it's one of the schools in our league, we play in a pretty competitive league. I know Hilliard Dart is very fundamental, so we got to make sure we're getting the help side. Worked on that in a lot of practice, and just coming in with energy. I mean, if we come with energy, I feel like we got a good shot at beating any team. We're trying to out energy, like I said, like early out energy teams and playing together. And I always say like it's huge if we can get all our 5 guys in double digits. I think we got a pretty good shot at winning if we can get our starting 5 in double digits and just move the ball around and get everybody involved. I think we can get the whole offensive flow of things. And it's not just a few guys scoring, and we got all our guys scoring. I feel like that's huge for us, and we're looking to hopefully get another win and start out 3-0.
Yeah, so Darby has the new coach this year, Coach Cahill. He's been around the block, and he's a great coach. So yeah, it's going to be interesting what they do, but I think it's going to be a really good early season matchup. Okay, so just kind of like a fun one question, just so we can, some listeners can get to know you a little bit better as a person, and not just a basketball player. You say you're a big fan of Christmas. Obviously, Christmas is coming up. What's your couple favorite Christmas gifts that you've gotten?
That's a good question. So yeah, it's crazy, but UGG bedding. I'm telling you, UGG bedding is super nice. My mom got it, saw it. I was like, I never knew they had it. You wear the UGG slippers, whatever sweatshirt. They actually had UGG bedding, and dude, like it's hard to get out of bed in the morning. I kid you not, it's so nice. So that was one of the best gifts I've gotten. And then I ended up getting some white and gold beats. Those were pretty sweet. Just because Teays Valley had the gold in them. I like those. And obviously, just hoop shoes. Like you get some Kobe's, get them for a solid price because now they're so expensive. So now if you can get them for like when they first come out, that's huge. And those brand new shoes on Christmas, you can't beat that.
What's your go-to hoop shoe?
Right now, is definitely the Kobe 6, the Pro 6s for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never had a pair of Kobe's. I ended up getting them for $200 on the dot. It was like the no tax day. The traction, they're light. It's like you have none on your feet. Like the hype was real. They're super expensive. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you probably shouldn't waste your money on, maybe get another pair of comfortable shoes. But I will say, like, the quality of the shoe was very nice. I was impressed because, you see them all over social media being advertised. So I say the Pro 6s for sure.
Don't spend the money that I do, but I'm gonna do it. I love it. No, that's good advice. UGG bedding, that's crazy, man. I've never I always talk to my players that I've coached and like people I talk to whether I'm too old to do this stuff. You think I'm too old for Uggs or UGG bedding?
No, you can't be too old for UGG bedding. I kid you not. Like I recommend it to anybody. Like it is like the UGG branding. It's comfortable. Like I would say it is legit. It's awesome.
I already have a hard time getting out of bed as it is. I don't know if I can afford UGG bedding. Okay, so we'll go ahead and wrap up here. We do have a comment, and it's from your teammate, Caden Purdon. Appreciate you listening live, Caden. How do you score so beautifully every game?
Oh man, This dude, man. I mean, teammates, they set me up for success. You know, we got a lot of screens set for me to come off and shoot. And, you know, he makes the game a lot easier on me, too. When he's out, definitely when he was out last season, it was definitely tougher on me just because I was primary scorer, and I got another guy, my running mate. He can help me out. He's a scorer at will and a dominant force down there in the paint. So it definitely opens it up and gets me easier shots for sure.
All right. All right. Last thing. So you say you've made 44 free throws in a row, which is 15th in the OHSAA all time. Hopefully, I didn't just jinx it. How long is that streak gonna last?
So actually, already messed that up.
Oh, okay.
Fortunately, so it's actually funny. So I think it was freshman year. We had the all-time leading scorer. He had 26 consecutive free throws. So I ended up tying it. So the first game we had Lancaster, there was a little bit of pressure because I got the first play of the game. I drove in, got an and-1, and I was like, oh shoot, like this is it. Like if I miss, I have to restart. So then I ended up, I ended up making 18 in a row. I ended up missing one. It was definitely like a little like mental because it's like you made that many free throws in a row, and then all of a sudden you miss one. It was weird. So a little mental, but I still shot solid from last year. I think I shot around 86, but it was definitely a cool experience and something I wasn't even aiming for. But it just shows that hard work can pay off in ways you don't even know.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Obviously, never did anything like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Again, thanks to everyone for listening. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it. It's free. We come out with at least one of these a week for the podcast, and then we also are on any social media, so make sure you follow us at 270 Hoops, and you subscribe to our Spotify or Apple Music. Brody, appreciate it. Good luck against Darby tomorrow night. The game's at 7:30, and hopefully we can talk again soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, my guy.